guys, let's do another walk around the neighborhood and have a little talk about what this week's going to look like. So this will be going up on the Mañana No Mas Facebook page. More than likely be throwing it up on YouTube and then probably posting it inside the Mañana No Mas main website too as a new blog post. And here's why. I've been taking a look at a lot of the communication that I've been putting out, or the content that I've been putting out. And I'll be honest with you, it's a ton of content. It's there's a lot of stuff going on, right? Between book reviews and ideas about business, especially Powersports Training, Powersports and Marine. You know, that's where a lot of my passions are. But there's so much more to it than that. I mean, just yesterday I posted up a podcast with Rob Ferret. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to that yet, or to watch that on YouTube or on the website Mañana No Mas, I strongly encourage you to check that out. Rob's a super dynamic guy. He's the doorstep DJ, right? You might have seen him on the news. Well, I reached out to him on LinkedIn and we made a connection, and I thought, let's do this thing, man. Let's have a conversation and let's get to know each other a little bit. And so we did. And man, I really, really enjoyed him. Morning. And I thought he was just a pretty awesome dude to hang out with. So we put that up yesterday, interviewed him yesterday, got the podcast edited and got it up yesterday. So I was pretty proud about that. But let's talk about going forward. There's a lot going on. A lot of you are working at home. A lot of you are, fighting with, do I go get an essential job and be essential? Or do I stay home and wait and see if my boss calls me? Or do I look for another job, or do I build my own business? And herein is where I got to be more flexible. I'm really trying to focus on my niche, and I keep getting asked or distracted into things outside my niche. Meanwhile, things that are in my niche, right? My essential workers at the Powersports and Marine dealers, well, they seem to be really focused on things around them right now. So there's not really a lot of growth in what I consider my niche. So I have to think about, how can I best add value to others? How can I turn my talents and my skills into something that other people might see value in, right? Gotta ask myself this stuff all the time. And I encourage you to ask yourself these questions all the time. These are important things. I know that there's value in the John Maxwell stuff that I shared. I know that there's value in covering books like Leadership online. I got a lot of really good feedback about that. When I covered the book by Kevin Cope online, I got some good feedback about that as well. Now, I'm not some professor at a college level person talking about business theories and goal setting and mentorship and entrepreneurship and all these things. But I have made myself a lifelong student in these areas. And I've been lending an awful lot of advice, counseling and things like that, online, independently, things like that. So here's what I want to do. I recently led a presentation about how I make a learning management website, how I incorporate customer management into that, how I incorporate some marketing and social marketing into that, and how to grow these businesses that I do, how to grow that thing basically from scratch. So I did this presentation, and it was like, good morning. So I did this presentation, and it's based in WordPress, and I consider myself somewhat of a WordPress power user. I might not be a developer user kind of person, but I've done the years of research to know what plugins work, what plugins kind of struggle, and kind of how to build it. So I put it together, and I thought, well, I'll do something like that. And then I did the presentation. It was really well received, and the people that I presented to were really thankful for it, so that was pretty good. So I was thinking I might want to share that with you guys. I also have another book that I want to go through with you guys, The 5 Levels of Leadership from John Maxwell. I promised you guys I'd go over the 5 levels of leadership with John Maxwell when we were doing the leadership study. And I've mentioned it a few times in the Facebook Lives and stuff like that. But here's where I got to announce some changes. When we did the leadership study, I did it on Zoom, and I invited people to come in and to participate and do it like a live mastermind. Only a few times do we get people to actually sign into the live. And then when you look at the traffic that looks at the replays, there's pretty consistent traffic in there. So then I have to ask myself, well, where are all these hundreds of people coming from, and where are they seeing this from, and how are they accessing this? And if they're seeing session 8, right, but they really could have gotten some value out of session 6 or session 5, well then how can I do a better job of making sure people get access to all of the content? And then I started thinking about how Facebook worked, Facebook didn't work, Facebook worked, Facebook didn't work, and we had to deal with that a few times, right? Where people may have gone to sign in on the Facebook page, but then were unable to sign in, unable to find it, unable to get the right link, because we had to transfer everything over to YouTube 2 or 3 sessions in. And YouTube seemed to be super reliable, right? So these are some of the changes. I'm going to cover the 5 levels of leadership through John Maxwell. I'm going to cover that book with you guys. I'm going to do 1 session a week instead of 2 sessions a week. I don't want to stretch myself too thin on these things. So I'm going to do 1 session a week. It's going to be free. I want to keep it free. I don't want to charge you for it. 1 session a week, but it's going to be on the YouTube Live channel. And here's what I like about doing the YouTube Live. I can still port it through Zoom, right? We can still do live face-to-face kind of things in Zoom, but we can port it over to YouTube Live. It can be recorded, and then replays can be added to the Mañana No Mas Academy, same as before. So that's great. But in YouTube, the chat functions and all that stuff, they seem to be a lot more proactive than what I'll see, just through Zoom or through Facebook. And here's why I say that. The Facebook connection was having a lot of lag, and there would be a lot of times where you guys might make a comment, or you might put in an emoji or something like that, and I wouldn't see it until I was 4 or 5 sentences or paragraphs further in talking. Then it made the comment irrelevant, and then it kind of took away the vibrance, right? Kind of took away the interactivity of what the skill was supposed to be in the first place. So I'm going to move the book reviews over to the YouTube channel, and you'll see me promoting the YouTube channel more and more and more throughout the other social feeds, because I think that's where we're going to have a little bit better interactivity. Now, the hard part with the YouTube channel is I've got multiple things going. I've got the Mañana No Mas thing, which is kind of like general business, leadership, goal setting, things like that, right? I've got the Mañana No Mas there, and then I've got the Powersports and Marine Service Network training that I keep on a separate channel in Facebook. And so I'll be using the playlists in YouTube to try and keep that stuff separate when you go to look for replays. And I'll post the schedules up in the respective Facebook pages for when to see these things come out on YouTube. But using YouTube as the portal, as the location for the lives, I think is going to be a little bit of a change, but hopefully it's going to be a change that you guys will be able to adjust with, right? And there's changes to the algorithm and stuff coming with Facebook. In fact, he's doing a thing at 10 o'clock this morning, Mark Zuckerberg is, and he says he's making some changes to help small business. But I think if you take a look at how that whole rooms thing rolled out, 8 people at a time can go into a room, and it's free, and it's this, and it's kind of like Facebook's answer to Zoom. When you take a look at how that rolled out, I'm not having a lot of confidence right now. So I think it's best to move things over to YouTube for a little bit. Okay, so far we've talked about transferring some of the live content over to YouTube, and then maybe putting the replays into Facebook. But if you want to participate in the lives, you want to pay attention to where the YouTube is. And again, I'll post those promotional links into the respective Facebook pages so you know where to go for that, right? The podcasts are still rolling. I've got a new project coming out with a kind of a podcast directory, and you'll see that getting promoted here real soon. The book is coming up real good, Service Writing in the Gray. That you should be able to have that in your greedy little hands any day. And then Facebook, podcasts, books, marine training, motorcycle training. Yeah, we're getting it all covered. Good. So this video was all about just trying to get you up to speed on how things are happening. Now, when I do the presentation for how to build your own website, your own learning management site, your own customer records keeping, stuff like that, how to keep all that inside your own WordPress site, this is a big, big, big deal, okay? I'm gonna do a workshop for this thing. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this, right? I've got the presentation done, but realistically, you know, maybe it should be a course, maybe I should extend it and make it a course inside inside my academy. I think what I'll do is, I think I'll do the presentation as kind of a, let's call it a lead magnet, right? Because I'm not sure how else to phrase that. But let's say I do a free live presentation on how I built the site and how I do the you know, customer records and all that stuff. Let's say I do a live presentation on that to gauge interest, and then people that are really interested in following through and doing something on their own, maybe we make that a workshop and we put that into the academy, right? But let's see where the interest is first, right? So let's do that. Folks, I tell you what, this milling around the neighborhood, this walking up to the park and taking a little bit of time wearing my JMT DNA shirt today and enjoying a cup of coffee with you guys, I really look forward to it. I've been reading in the mornings, I've been reading in the afternoons, making the podcast, doing the web stuff, doing some promotions, talking to dealerships, and I'm super thrilled because the things that I've pointed out, the opportunities for growth, the opportunities for job stability for essential workers, the opportunities for people to, you know, find a need, fill a need, grow a business in this time, it's all been on point. And I've had reports from multiple sources and multiple angles that, you know, there is possibility, there is growth, there is things to do. So the idea of, you know, kind of, you know, sitting at home playing video games or watching Netflix, I get it. I mean, if you're a personality type that needs to disengage and pull back a little bit and kind of hit the reset button, I totally get it. I do. But there comes a time where you're going to have to pay the bills, or you're going to run out of savings, or you're spending money out of savings and investments that you shouldn't be spending. I see a lot of people driving new cars, new motorcycles, you know, buying stuff like crazy. And I'm thinking, you know, with the uncertainty that we've got right now, this might be a good time to be a little more cash liquid. So, you know, I encourage you to hoard as much money as you can right now, because we're not exactly sure where this power move is going. I mean, unless you've got a friend in office somewhere that understands what the grand scheme is, we're not really sure where this is going. So I hope that you are making the best out of your quarantine time. If you're in a state that's open, I hope you're enjoying the freedoms of going back out and eating at restaurants again. Here in California, things are still pretty much closed down. So that's that for today. I don't want to get overly political, but I did want to let you know about some of the changes coming to Mañana No Mas. You will see a schedule posted to the Mañana No Mas website and to all my social channels either today or tomorrow morning. And that schedule is going to list out like when is going to be the 5 levels of leadership, right? Like what day and time. When is going to be Zoom night out, right? So I can get together and have a social drink with my buddy. When is going to be, you know, the bi-weekly support call for Powersports and the bi-weekly support call for personal development classes. And we're going to list all these things out in a schedule. And we're going to put this schedule up hopefully 3 to 4 weeks in advance. And I want to be able to keep that rolling, right? Because here's what I found. I found that even though I think I have a lot of great ideas, I tend to enact on them without enough planning, warning, or forethought for the people that I want to see get involved. And I keep getting messages after the fact, you know, like, Suzanne, I see you, I got your message. Suzanne missed our Zoom night out last night. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Zoom night out, it's a thing I started online. I thought, you know, all these Zoom meetings and all this screen fatigue I'm getting where people are trying to sell me something or I'm trying to sell them something, we just need a break. You know, people need to have human interaction that's not dependent upon exchanging silver bits, right? So I thought, hey, let's just get together with some other adults, have an adult beverage, socialize, smile, laugh, tell a story, you know, talk about a great memory or something you can't wait to start doing again. And it's been pretty cool. We've had some events where 2 or 3 people show up, and we've had some events where there's a dozen in there. And, you know, it lasts for about an hour, hour and a half. Everybody has a drink, laughs, giggles, you know, tells a story, makes a connection, and then moves on to the next thing. So that's that. Hope you all enjoy the walk around the neighborhood. And I say it all the time. I know it sounds corny, but I love you guys. I hope everything's working out for you. And if you're feeling a little stressed today, just take a big deep breath and kind of chill and pick up a book, read a book, do something. I don't know, but take care of yourself. Mental health, physical health is so important right now, and I'm not seeing the posts about that stuff. I'm seeing posts about masks and staying inside and all this weird stuff. And realistically, sunshine, vitamins, a good attitude, and it goes a long way. It goes a real long way. So have a wonderful day. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.